let's get back to Gabby Gonzalez with another look at what's happening right now in Westfield. Gabby?
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, students will start arriving here on campus in just a few minutes. We've been talking to students who've been stopping by the scene. They tell some of them cannot bear to go to school today. They're going to be gathering with some of the cast members from that production last night who all witnessed the stage collapse there around 10:15 p.m. We also got an update from police, from the mayor earlier this hour. They tell us that this situation could have been far worse. They're very thankful that people were able to jump into action, get those students the medical assistance that they needed. Counselors will be on hand today at the school to help students and the faculty here really make it through this, cope with the situation. And here's what the police department had to say about the state of those students that were taken to the hospital, how they're doing this morning.
While they were there, several kids were actually transported to local hospitals for what now is minor injuries. We did have, yesterday we reported that we had one critical injury. That person right now, I'm happy to say that person is doing really well. And everything right now as far as the injuries are concerned were minor injuries.
And now they are investigating what could have led to that stage collapse. The Westfield Police Department tells me that they are working with Indiana State Police to get to the bottom of this, but they also say that the students had rehearsed on that stage before and there were no indications that there was a risk for a collapse. Back to you guys.
Zionsville right now. Gabby, tell us what you're seeing.
Well, a very busy scene here. We've seen Fogle be escorted in and out of this crime lab van. I'm going to step aside so you can take a look at it right there. At least twice he was not in handcuffs and he is not under arrest at this point. Very few details are available right now. We are standing by to learn more from authorities, but our crew here did spot officials making their way out of the home holding what looked like DVDs or CDs. We also saw a police dog on the property. We are awaiting official statements from the FBI at this point. CBS 4 also reached out to Subway for a comment. We have not heard back yet. As you can imagine, a lot of the neighbors on this block were out on the street watching all this unfold. We spoke to one man who lives across the street from Fogle. He says he never expected to see a child pornography investigation going on his block.
He was a private neighbor for the most part. We didn't see him outside too much, mostly his family and his wife and stuff like that. But we never really thought anything too strange about it. We just figured he liked to remain private. So it's really kind of weird seeing this going on. You just wouldn't expect it out of a family like that.
Now, all this comes just a few months after the director of the Jared Foundation, that man's name is Russell Taylor, was arrested for being in possession and producing child pornography. Police raided his home and found more than 500 videos showing images of child porn. Taylor did try to commit suicide while in jail. We did see an attorney arrive here at Fogle's home about an hour ago. We have not gotten confirmation whether that man will be representing Fogle in any way here. We're, of course, going to stay here on the scene, continue to gather more information. We'll have the latest in just a few minutes. Back to you. These big, bright signs in the school zones aren't stopping some drivers from hitting the accelerator instead of the brakes.
See, he's 43 miles an hour right in front of the school.
Just a few minutes with Officer James Goddard right before school starts, and we see one speeder
53 mile an hour.
Right after another.
This guy's obviously speeding. He's going 40. He was at 41.
It's not long before the officer tracks one of these drivers down.
Yes, ma'am. I tracked you on my laser at 50 miles an hour. This is a posted 25 mile an hour school zone. She's going double the speed limit.
We talked to the driver once she had her speeding ticket in hand. What happened here?
I didn't. I thought it was 40 and my speedometer was showing 40, and I didn't see that it was a speed limit.
Then another driver catches the officer's eye.
He was going 41 miles an hour, so 16 miles an hour over the speed limit.
One more speeding ticket doled out. What caused you to be speeding down this roadway here?
I had no idea I was. As I'm from Ohio, just moved here, and I didn't see no school signs.
I said the sun was in his eyes.
Just some of the excuses officers hear when school is in session. In 2014 alone, there were 976 speeding tickets issued in school zones by IMPD. At about $150 a pop, the cost of school zone speeding tickets can add up fast.
You can still write 10 or 15 in an hour at a lot of the school zones.
We spotted one driver coming down this hill behind me at 51 miles per hour before turning right into the school.
Some people are just going to be oblivious. Sometimes people need a wake-up call.
Standing out in the open right next to a school, I tracked drivers using a radar gun. 20. Within 10 minutes, is that guy going 39? I spotted drivers disregarding the mandatory 25-mile-per-hour speed limit.
You see how far away he pulled from all the other traffic.
The badge helps slow some people down, but those armed with just a reflective vest and a stop sign have less luck.
That your kids are crossing down there, they're going to get hit.
Jackie Lunsford helps kids cross the street every morning.
Have a good day.
And she's experienced close calls.
And that's happened, like 3 or 4 times with the kids. I've had to push them all back, and they think it's the Indy 500.
So when drivers blow past these warning signs near schools,
I don't give anybody a break.
officers feel it's up to them to teach a lesson.
It's better to be safe going 25 miles an hour than sorry if you strike a child.
Gabby Gonzalez, CBS 4 News.
Has turned into a SWAT standoff.
Our Gabby Gonzalez is at the scene live. She joins us now with the very latest. Gabby, have things changed since we last saw you?
Yeah, we've made our way closer to the SWAT situation right now. We're right off Rockville Road and Holt right now. We just saw a number of SWAT team members leave a property here behind me. You can see just how many police cars are on the scene. IMPD says that they've contained a possible murder suspect in the 3600 block of Preston. This is all connected to that shooting that happened earlier this morning just before 4 a.m. in the 100 block of North Sheffield Avenue. That's where one man was killed after suffering a gunshot wound to the head, and another man is in critical condition but expected to survive also after being shot there on that scene. Police spent several hours there combing through the area using flashlights to find any evidence and also closely examining a vehicle where that victim who died was actually found there in that area. So now we're about 1.5 miles away from there as things escalate and evolve here. I've been in contact with the public information officer for IMPD who says this is very early in the stages here at this SWAT situation. He's going to update me as soon as they learn more. But once again, we saw quite a number of SWAT team members make their way out to their truck. We see a lot of people who live on this block coming outside trying to figure out what is going on here. There was still no motive for that shooting that happened this morning. We'll, of course, pass along any updates as soon as we get them. Reporting live from the near west side, I'm Gabby Gonzalez, Fox 59 News.
And is usually great news for business owners. They're preparing for a big boost in sales over the next few days, particularly when it comes to beer.
CBS 4's Gabby Gonzalez brings us an exclusive look at how the stores are stocking up. Look at all that stuff behind you, Gabby.
Yeah, hey, good morning, guys. We are now in the Monarch warehouse. They've been stocking up really ahead of the month of May because they know they have to meet that demand. There are towers of beer cases here behind me, and this month alone, they expect to sell 1.5 million cases. This kind of speed.
It's a lot of hard work.
And strategic planning.
They're just looking for accuracy.
Are the norm during the week leading up to race day and Memorial Day for beer distributors like Monarch Beverage.
We'll increase our sales about 60% this week because of those two events. That equates to about 500,000 cases in cans alone this week.
Crews working fast to deliver beer at Liquor Cabinet, which is right near the Speedway. Rachel Henson oversees this store along with 4 other locations. She says this is one of her biggest weekends of the year.
It's huge. I mean, I compare the busyness to like a Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve.
For Monarch Beverage, this time last year beat out the typical #1 holiday for beer sales.
4th of July usually is our biggest week, but in 2014, actually Memorial Weekend and Indy 500 created our largest sales week of the year for us.
The need to get these cases out of the warehouse and into stores is so high, they're required to bring in extra help.
Then we also bring in seasonal help, so a lot of college kids will come back and we'll use those guys to help out on trucks as well.
That means 30 more jobs for our area. The increased demand is good news for local businesses getting a quick boost thanks to racing fans.
It's probably my favorite weekend, if not my favorite month of the whole year.
And liquor store owners like Rachel Henson, who you just heard from, say they do switch up their ordering ahead of the Indy 500. They order a lot more cans because that's what the fans can actually bring into the speedway. And we've got much more information about the financial impact of these sales on our website. Just head to CBS4Indy.com. Reporting live from the east side, I'm Gabby Gonzalez, CBS 4 News.
Right now, where lawmakers are discussing the added language to prevent discrimination. CBS 4's Gabby Gonzalez is live from the State House with the very latest. Gabby.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Here in my hand is that committee report. It proposes that for the first time in Indiana, there will be protection against discrimination based on sexual orientation or gender identity. And bold letters right here, it says that added language would prevent the religious freedom law from allowing any individual or business to refuse service based on someone's sexual orientation.
To let every Hoosier know that we value you, gay, straight, black, white, religious, non-religious. We value each and every Hoosier.
Indiana House Speaker Brian Bosma and other GOP leaders say these changes will show religious freedom and individual rights can coexist. The changes to the law also include protection for the LGBT community when it comes to employment and housing. Plus, it mentions that the religious freedom law does not negate any rights available under the Constitution. The new language does mention that churches and certain nonprofit religious groups are exempt here. Several well-known business leaders taking to the podium during that press conference this morning. Jim Morris from the Pacers said the world is welcome here in Indy, and when they arrive, they can expect to be treated as equals. Former Indy Mayor and current VP of Eli Lilly, Bart Peterson, made statements too, saying now is the time to begin the healing.
Public policy matters and words matter. And so for the last 4 days or so, dozens of people have struggled together to find the right words to allow us to move past this crisis. But they found the words because the future of Indiana was at stake. And they value the future of our state above a desire to win, above the need for ideological purity, above the demands of politics.
We know that this is only the beginning. The end is that the equality guaranteed to all other Hoosiers through the Indiana Civil Rights Code is guaranteed also to us.
So the clarification to the religious freedom law stops short of making gays and lesbians a protected class here in Indiana. Republicans saying that would be a very big legislative step, and they did not want to rush through that process right now. Now, after this committee hearing today, the clarification to the law must go to the full House and Senate for a final vote. Lawmakers hope to get that to Governor Pence's desk by the end of today. We, of course, have crews covering this throughout the day, and we'll have the latest on the air and online. Reporting live outside the State House, I'm Gabby Gonzalez. To Marianne, back to you.